Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with Stone. Today we are going to be finding out how to prove triangles are congruent. Let's get into it. So there are 5 ways to prove that triangles are congruent, and almost all of them deal with A's and S's, so that would be side, 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 or side, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. Almost all of them deal with this. There are only a few that do not. And the few things that are absolutely do not prove congruency are no angle, 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 side angle, side, side angle, and angle, side, side. Those are the only three that are absolutely no-goes. So angle, 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 side, side angle, or written backwards, angle, side, side. Those are the three that do not work. Every other combination of angles and sides does. So we're going to show you what each one of them look like, and then we're going to do a few practice problems. Side, side, side is the easiest to find out. You just have to have 3 sides that are all equal using the hash marks. So if you have those 3 sides that are all equal, that's side, side, side congruency. Side angle side, the angle has to be in between the two S's and in between the two sides. So if this was our angle, then the sides that would have to be congruent would have to put that angle in between the two sides. So that sides are wedging in between that one angle. Whereas angle side angle is the opposite. Instead of having the angle in between two sides, here we want the side in between two angles. So that means that I could have an angle here and an angle here, and the side in the middle would be congruent. And the angle, but the side in the middle would be congruent. Angle, angle side is the same thing where you have 2 back-to-back angles, but then the side is after that. So that means that we would have 2 back-to-back angles. The back-to-back angles can be anywhere, 1, 2 right next to each other. But then instead of the side being here in the middle, you have the side after it. It's angle, angle, side. Now this side could have been here or it could have been up top, but they would both have to be in the same relative position. So here it went single angle mark, double angle mark, then we had the side, single angle mark, double angle mark, then we had the side. You have to make sure it matches that. And lastly, we have the very special one called hypotenuse leg, which is if you have a right triangle, it only works with right triangles, and you know one of the sides, and you know the hypotenuse is the same. Technically, this is the one that is not allowed, but it only works with hypotenuse leg, with the right triangle. So this is technically side, side, angle, side, side, then the angle. Angle's not in between it. But if it is a right triangle with a leg, one of the sides, and the hypotenuse, the diagonal one, then it is considered hypotenuse leg, and that is the only time that side, side, angle, or angle, side, side works. Every other time, it is considered not congruent. So let's do a few practice problems. So we got these over here that we need to do. Now in these problems we have to look for shared sides and look for vertical angles. Those are the 2 biggies. So here on number 1 we have a shared side right here. So we have to figure out, do we have 2 angles or 2 sides? Well, right now we have 2 angles. So if we have 2 angles, that's going to either be angle, side, angle, 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 side, or nothing. That's the only options that we have. So is the side in between the 2 angles, or is it after them? And I would say the side is in between these 2 angles here. So this would be the S in between the 2 A's, angle, side, angle. For number 2, we have one side, we have another side, and we have this third shared side. This is simply side, side, side. They're the easiest to pinpoint. And on number 3, we have 2 angles and a side. So we have 2 angles and a side, and this side right here is next to the double angle, the double marked angle, and same here. So you do have to check for that. So we have 2 angles and a side it is either going to be angle, side, angle, or angle, angle, side, and you just have to determine, is the side in between the two angles? And in this case, it's not. We have the angles here, and the side that would be in between it is right here where I've got circled. That's not where the side is. The side's after that. So this is angle, angle, side. Number 4. We got a right triangle, so this could very well be hypotenuse leg. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. It very easily could be hypotenuse leg. So here we have a right triangle. This is considered the leg, and the shared side is the hypotenuse. So we have a right triangle, we have the hypotenuse shared right here, and a leg. It is hypotenuse leg, HL. Moving right along. We got number 5. Check and always double check for vertical angles. We have them. These two things would be equal. And if these two things are equal, we have an angle and two sides. So angle and two sides could be angle, side, side. It could be side, angle, side. But this one means it's not congruent. And this one actually works. So is the side... is the angle in between the two sides? And I would say, no, this angle's here, where in between the two sides it should have been here, and it's not. So this is actually angle side side, which means that is not congruent. And you can write, no, exclamation mark, not congruent, any of the above. Number 6. This one actually is a little bit harder, not because it's harder to determine which one it is, but because these are parallel lines, that means that some of the angles are going to be equal on this triangle. And the angles that are equal, you have to just pay attention to, if you have parallel lines like here, the ones with the arrows, that means they're parallel. And the line connecting these two parallel lines is right here. So if we have that going straight up like that, what angles would be considered congruent? Well, that would be here and here. Those are the corresponding angles. And then if you wanted to finish your triangles off, you could. But separating it makes it a little easier. That tells us that this angle here and that angle here would be equal. It would not be where I'm putting a dot here and here, because these lines were not proven to be parallel. So these were the ones that were proven to be parallel. The angle that is congruent has to be connected to that parallel line. So now that we have that, we have two angles and a side. So it's either angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. Is the side in between the two angles? Yes, it is. The side is in between the two angles. That means it's angle, side, angle, not the angle, angle, side. Continuing right along with number 7. We have an angle here and a side here. Now this may look like a 90-degree angle, and it could very well be a 90-degree angle, but there's no guarantee. So what I would do is take this shared side and say, hey, that's equal. That's 100% guaranteed. If this is equal, we have one side and an angle and another side, so it's most likely going to be side, angle, side if the angle is in between these two sides. So is the angle in between those two sides? Yeah, we have two angles here, and then right in the middle of it, we have that angle. Two sides there, right in the middle of it, we have that angle. Gonna do two more. We got number 8, we got this shared side. So I can mark that. We have 1, 2, 3 sides, side, side, side. That one's the easiest to recognize. On number 9, you actually could put a few different answers. As it sits right now, we have a right angle, we have a hypotenuse, we have a leg. As it sits right now, it is hypotenuse leg. However, you could also fill in the vertical angles, and now it could be a lot more things. It could be angle, angle, side as well, because we have two angles and a side. So another option would be angle, angle, side congruency, because those vertical angles would add that additional angle. Side, angle, side would not exist, because this angle is not in between the two sides. So this would only be angle, angle, side, or hypotenuse leg. Number 10, vertical angle. We have an angle, we have another angle, we have a side. So it's either side angle, or angle, side. Well, is the side in between two angles? No. It is after it. So that means it is angle, side. And I know I said I would only do a few more, but we only got a few left on this page. Why don't we just finish it up? So we got number 11, shared side here. All I see is an angle and a side. I don't see anything else that would actually be apparent here. So on this particular problem, that's all you have. You need at least 3 things for this to work. This is no. We just didn't have enough information. Number 12, however, probably has enough information. Right as it sits, we got an angle here for vertical angles. But that is angle, side, side. The angle's not in between them. So as it sits, this is currently a no. However, these lines are parallel. And if these lines are parallel, you could connect them using either one of these diagonal lines. I picked this one going from left to right, from top to bottom, but I could have picked the other one. And if I do that, I would connect these two with an angle that is congruent. And now I have angle, side. So now I have angle, side. If I had chosen this angle right here instead, then it would have been an entirely different answer, because then I would have angle, side, angle, or side, angle, side. So depending on which parallel transversal line angle that you chose to make congruent would determine your answer in this case. All right? So that's going to do it for today. Until next time, I will see everybody later. Have a fantastic afternoon. Bye.